Put down the calculator, right now. You are holding a lie that is destroying your biology. You have been sold a model of reality that does not exist. The system calls it Thermodynamics. They tell you that your body is a simple bank account, that if you just deposit less fuel than you spend, the fat must vanish. It is the single most destructive myth in human history, because your body is not a bank, and you are not a steam engine. You are a chemical laboratory, a chaotic, adaptive, survival-obsessed refinery, ruled by ancient genetic code. In a lab, chemistry overrides math every single time. If you mix the wrong chemicals, you don't get an empty beaker, you get an explosion. Right now, your laboratory is under lockdown. While you are busy counting every single almond, obsessing over low-calorie labels, your body is reading a completely different signal. You think you're dieting? Your biology thinks you are dying, and it is preparing for war. For 50 years, the food industry is hidden behind the Furnace Fallacy. They need you to believe that a calorie is a calorie, that 100 calories of broccoli and 100 calories of soda are identical in the eyes of physics. In a bomb calorimeter, a device used to burn food to ash, that is true. But you are not a bomb calorimeter. You are a biological organism. When you eat the broccoli, your hormones whisper growth and satiety. When you drink the soda, your hormones scream emergency and storage. The math is the same, the message is opposite. This is where the trap was set. When the government told us to stop eating fat, the industry had a problem. Food without fat tastes like cardboard. So they replaced the fat with sugar and processed carbohydrates. They handed you a health food that was actually a metabolic grenade. You blame yourself. You look in the mirror and see a lack of discipline. You think, if I just had more willpower, I wouldn't be hungry. That is the script they gave you to keep you buying. Tear up the script. It is not you against the fridge. It is your willpower against your hormones. And in that fight, hormones remain undefeated for 200,000 years. The villain isn't your appetite. The villain is the biochemical lock on your own fat cells. Let's look at the weapon, insulin. You know it regulates blood sugar, but that is just its day job. Its primary evolutionary function is energy storage. Insulin is the storage hormone. When insulin is high, the body is in building mode. And here is the rule of engagement. You cannot burn fat when insulin is high. It is biologically impossible. The presence of insulin inhibits an enzyme called hormone-sensitive lipase. Think of this enzyme as the key that unlocks your fat cells. Insulin confiscates the key. As long as you are grazing on healthy grains and fruit smoothies every 3 hours, your insulin never drops. You have welded the vault shut. So, you decide to fight physics. You cut your calories to 1,200. You try to force the deficit. But your body is smart. It has a thermostat called the thyroid. When it detects a drop in energy intake, it doesn't burn your fat reserves, because remember, insulin has locked those doors. Instead, it lowers your spending. It downregulates your basal metabolic rate. You stop fidgeting. Your body temperature drops. Your pulse slows. You feel tired and cold. You aren't burning fat. You are just dimming the lights to survive the brownout. Then, the torture begins. Ghrelin, the hunger hormone, is deployed. This isn't just a rumble in the tummy. Ghrelin is a neurotransmitter that acts on the reward centers of your brain. It makes food look brighter, smell stronger, and feel inevitable. It is a chemical scream, and it gets louder every single hour you resist. This is the tragedy. You actually have plenty of energy. Your fat cells produce a hormone called leptin, which is supposed to tell your brain, we are full of energy, stop eating. But chronic high insulin creates leptin resistance. It's a jammed radar. Your fat cells are screaming, we are full, but your brain hears nothing but static. Your brain literally thinks you are starving to death, even though you are carrying 50 pounds of stored energy. It cannot see the fuel because the insulin fog is blinding the sensors. And to finish you off, cortisol. The stress of dieting spikes your stress hormones. Cortisol breaks down your muscle tissue to turn it into glucose. You heard that right. You are losing weight, but you aren't losing fat. You are cannibalizing your own muscle, which slows your metabolism even further. It is a death spiral. Let's run the simulation. To understand the glitch, we have to look at the hardware. You are running 200,000-year-old software designed for a world where food was scarce. In the wild, weight loss meant one thing: winter is coming, or a famine has begun. Fast forward to today. You decide to get healthy. You cut calories, you hit the treadmill, you ignore the hunger. You think you are being virtuous. Your hypothalamus thinks the harvest failed. It detects a massive energy deficit. It does not care about your beach vacation. It cares about keeping you alive until the buffalo return. The countermeasures deploy. First, you get cold. That's your thyroid dialing down heat production to save energy. Then the lethargy hits. You don't want to move. That's your brain rationing dopamine to keep you sedentary. Your libido vanishes. Why reproduce when there is no food? I feel terrible. I'm exhausted. But I'm losing weight, right? You fight it. You use your prefrontal cortex, your conscious willpower, to say no. But the prefrontal cortex is a battery, and it drains. The reptilian brain is a nuclear reactor. It never stops. Every hour of restriction builds the pressure. And then you snap. You binge. You eat 3 days worth of calories in 20 minutes. You feel shame. You feel like a failure. You are not a failure. You were possessed. Your brain executed a hostage rescue mission. It saw you starving and took control of your motor functions to save your life. It flooded you with dopamine to ensure you ate as much high-energy food as possible before the famine resumed. But here is the cruelty of the system. Because you terrified your biology, it doesn't just restore your old weight. It adds a safety tax. It adds an extra 10% of fat storage just in case you try this famine stunt again. The diet didn't fail. The diet worked exactly as it was designed to. It made you fatter, sicker, and more dependent on the system. Stop the war. You cannot win a fight against your own survival instincts. You have to change the negotiation. We need to switch from calorie counting to hormonal signaling. We need to convince your body that it is safe so it willingly unlocks the vault. First, we lower the insulin baseline. This means periods of low-frequency eating. Stop grazing, stop snacking. Give your body a break from the insulin spike. When insulin drops, the guard leaves the door. The fat cells unlock. Cut the sugar. Sugar is the signal for winter is coming, store everything. Fat and protein are the signals for the hunt was successful, we are safe. When you eat nutrient-dense food, your satiety hormones, peptide YY and CCK, scream, "Enough!" long before you overeat. You don't need willpower to stop eating when you are chemically satisfied. You just stop. This is the new paradigm. Food is not fuel. Food is information. Every bite is a line of code you are typing into your genetic operating system. Are you typing famine and emergency? Or are you typing abundance and safety? The system wants you hungry. They want you on the insulin roller coaster, buying their snacks, taking their drugs, and blaming yourself for their design flaw. Do not give them the satisfaction. Stop starving. Start nourishing. Hack the signal, unlock the vault, and take back your biology. Override complete.